Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you love these videos, please do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Submariner 114060. That is right, the current no date. Would you believe it's taken over a year to get the current generation no date on the channel? I would say, as a person who works in the watch industry and sees perhaps 2 to 3 dozen current generation 116610 subs, for every one of these I encounter, these are almost like a limited edition compared to the standard sub. They are incredibly scarce. It's a connoisseur's piece and a beautifully balanced one at that. If you love dive watch history as well as aesthetic balance, this is the only choice among the current subs. So let's talk about what you get. Physically, it's the same size as the 116610, 40 millimeters across the round of the case, not including crown or crown guards. It's a reasonably slim watch. The first thing you can see is that it doesn't have the Cyclops Eye magnifier, and all up, you're 12.5 millimeters from the back of the case to the top of the sapphire. Lug to lug, the watch is fairly wearable. It's not a big timepiece at 48 millimeters, but if you do include the solid end links of the Oyster bracelet, then it's 51 millimeters. Still quite wearable. I recommend the watch for wrists as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. The spacing between the lugs is 20 millimeters, but you gotta be pretty crazy to take a current generation Rolex bracelet off a current generation Rolex. Now, opening everything up, you'll appreciate the fact that the bracelet is quite minimalist. Polished outer faces, satin finished centers and flanks, of course an Oyster with all removable links fitted with screws, and the clasp, a simple piece, all of satin with polished flanks, and it actually has a double locking system. There is a horn and beak internally. You can see the horn and you can see the beak, and once those two interlock, this actually can't pop open. You can't pull this open. It's not like it's a friction fit at this point. So you have one lock, then you lower the clamshell, and you have a second lock, very secure on the wrist, as well as deceptively complex in its mechanism. Now, there's a couple of ways you can adjust the size of this watch. You have 2 millimeter increments of adjustment, 20 millimeters of adjustability all told. This is glide lock. This is considerably more substantial than what you would get, for example, with Easy Link on a standard Rolex Oyster bracelet. So you can move it in or out 20 millimeters, and there are 10 individual increments. Jumping back to the case, the integrated profile of a modern Rolex bracelet is a beautiful thing. Not only does it bring the end links more or less flush with the lugs, but it nicely traces the arc of the case, and there's a handsome overlap of bezel to end link. The case band is fairly simple. We're well into the era of the Rolex Super Case, and when this generation of the no date bowed in 2012, it adopted the case form of the 116610 with the date. So externally, they're very similar, right down to that Triplock crown. The crown guards are remarkably spare on the sub. They serve their purpose of preventing shearing of the crown, but they don't tend to dig the wrist, and I appreciate that. The Knurling is spare but sharp, so you're going to have no problem digging into, let's get this back in focus now, you're going to have no problem digging into this knurling to move the bezel when you wish. The detent is refined but clear. It's not as chunky as something like a Doxa sub or a Panerai Luminor submersible, but it's considerably crisper than what you'll find on most Omega watches, including the Planet Oceans. Cerachrom, it is a ceramic insert, so very scratch resistant. All of the indices, numerals, calibrations, they're all platinum deposits, so a little bit of precious metal on the exterior of your watch. And Rolex's luminescent pearl is a multi-part sandwich construction designed to resist scratches, scuffs, and displacement. It actually has a sapphire cap over the lume, so it's difficult to lose this one or disfigure the luminescent element. Line up the pearl with the minute hand, now you've got an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. Even a Daytona doesn't have a 60-minute register. Now jump into the dial itself. It's a gloss black and beautifully balanced. No Cyclops Eye means that each side is a mirror image of the other. All white gold indices, white gold hands. This is the classical image of the first 1953 Rolex Submariner. Back in the primordial era of the 6200, the 6204, the 6205, this was the look, and at the dawn of Bond watches, at least the cinematic equivalent of Bond watches, Sean Connery wore a no date in Dr. No, and we were off to a flying start. Now the timepiece does feature white gold hands to match the white gold indices, so the idea is that they won't tarnish or oxidize over time, and underneath the Oyster caseback back is a Rolex caliber 3130, 31 joules, bidirectional automatic winding, 48-hour power reserve, 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate. It features hacking or stop seconds. It's a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. Rolex then takes the certified chronometer, puts it in the case, and times it to no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per day. So not only is it timed as a fully cased watch, but it is timed to in excess of chronometer standards as a fully cased watch. Other helpful features are the Breguet overcoil hairspring of Rolex's niobium zirconium parachrom blue anti-magnetic alloy. Parachrom blue is anti-magnetic. The overcoil helps the watch to keep exactly the same time, neither speeding up nor slowing down in any orientation with respect to gravity. A full balance bridge and a free sprung balance gives the watch immense shock resistance, so it's a very tough movement. And Teflon-coated reversing wheels, a jeweled staff pivot for the winding rotor, and bidirectional action, so there's no wobbling, unweighted direction. Those three features make it a very silent and smooth winding system. It scarcely declares itself. It's difficult to hear or feel. A highly refined 300-meter diver, this watch puts it all together. See the rarest of modern conventional steel subs and make it yours on the watch box. Back with the no-date sub, I can tell you I see about 24 to 36 116610s for every 114060, and I probably also see about 6 to 10 Hulks for every one of the no dates. Own the rarest on the watch box.